Is it possible to learn how to sing without singing lessons? Without the help of a singing teacher? As a professional singing teacher, my answer to this question is a resounding, it depends. Our ability to be able to coordinate our vocal instruments to make the kinds of sounds that we want to make when we want to make them is largely dependent upon a number of factors that pertain to our unique learning styles and needs, as well as where we're starting from physically, mentally, and emotionally. And today I'm going to share with you a few skills that fall under those umbrellas that will determine whether or not you are going to be able to teach yourself how to sing. One critical skill for the self-taught singer is body awareness. There are some individuals who just seem to be more naturally attuned to and in command of their bodies. They can just get their voices to do whatever they want to do. And they can tell when things feel right, when they feel good, and when they don't. And then there are those other individuals who seem to have very little kinesthesia. When you ask them, how did that feel? They genuinely don't have an answer. They don't know because they haven't been able to get in touch with their bodies. They just don't seem to physically register sensations associated with good, healthy vocal production or poor, unhealthy vocal production. They just don't seem to be body aware. And that will really hinder their progress. But the good news is that body awareness, kinesthesia, is something that can be learned. It can be developed over time. We just need to be very mindful when we're singing. Another really important skill that may go into determining whether or not an individual is able to teach himself or herself how to sing is the ability to imitate the sounds that he or she is hearing. That is, we need to be able to hear a particular sound and be able to reproduce it physically, to be able to make our vocal instruments produce those sounds. Now, it is true that there are individuals who have very unique timbres and they do some really interesting things with their voices. But the fact of the matter is that there is nothing new under the sun. Every sound that that singer makes, no matter how unique it sounds, has been made by singers before him or her. And so it's really important for the singer to have some really good vocal models that he or she can use as inspiration. Another really important skill that I think that the successful self-learning singer needs to possess is functional listening skills. That is the ability to be able to hear whether or not their sounds are being produced in a healthy manner. And sometimes that requires a little bit of a knowledge and understanding of how those sounds are produced on a physiological level and sort of reverse engineering those sounds and finding out what's happening on a functional level. How is the vocal instrument coordinating? Not just how things sound purely aesthetically, and yes, singing is all about the aesthetics, but in the grand scheme of things, we can produce a vast array of sounds, and not all of those sounds are going to be healthy. Even if they sound good, they may not be healthy and sustainable over time. So we have to learn to be able to discern those sounds that may sound okay, but are not being produced in a way that's going to keep our instruments healthy in the long term, and those sounds that are sounding great and also are being produced in a very healthy manner. Another factor that's going to partly determine whether or not you are going to be successful in teaching yourself how to sing is the ability to build muscle memory. That is the ability to be able to make sounds consistently, to be able to reproduce those sounds once you've made them the first time. And that really comes largely from building neural pathways, brain to body pathways, drilling that coordination into your working technique so that you can call upon it reliably, so that it's always there when you need it. And a lot of this comes down to how body aware we are. Are we able to feel when things are being produced in the same manner every time? Or when there are slight differences in our vocal production, in how we're coordinating our bodies physiologically, and also how we're practicing. And this is yet another factor, I think, that goes into determining how successful we are at learning how to sing. How are we practicing? Not just how much, That's that repetition deception that I've talked about in previous videos. We can rehearse and practice and practice and practice until we're blue in the face and not make any progress if we're not practicing the right things in the right ways. That is, if we're not changing what we're doing, actively making changes to our technique for the better. And that's really, really important. And again, this is where it comes down to the singer being body aware and being able to listen functionally. Listen to what the body is telling him or her about how it's coordinating based on sound, but not on a very subjective level, but more of an objective level. Being able to listen and say, there's something about that, even though it sounds okay, it doesn't quite sound 100% free. Or it sounds okay, but doesn't quite feel 100% good. And that's the really important factor. And I think that those things are extremely instrumental in determining which singers doing this on their own succeed. Now there's one other factor that I would like to bring up, and like practicing, it really comes down to habit. It has to do with the kind of guidance that we're receiving. Now I know this video is about teaching yourself how to sing. So we're not talking about having singing lessons. But, and I don't have the stats at my fingertips here, but I can hazard a guess that the vast majority of singers trying to go it alone in teaching themselves how to sing are on YouTube watching videos such as this one from teachers like me who are offering free tips and advice and exercises, or they're on websites reading articles, reading blog posts, on forums for singers, discussing singing, and some of you have probably purchased pre-recorded training programs such as Singing Success and Belt Your Face Off. So even though you are trying to learn without the one-on-one guidance that's offered from a singing teacher in a singing lesson situation, you are still receiving guidance and you're still receiving information from whatever sources you choose. And I think it's really important for you to vet those sources, to learn as much as you can from reliable sources, and then compare what people are telling you. What does the research actually say? And is this singing teacher basing his or her methodology on sound, physiological, and acoustical principles? This is really, really critical, I think, to your success in teaching yourself how to sing. So again, I think it's entirely possible for some singers to be able to successfully teach themselves how to sing in a healthy, artistically effective manner. Assuming that they have some good body awareness, they're able to hear and feel when things sound right and feel right, or don't sound right and don't feel right. But then for other singers who struggle to be able to get in touch with their bodies, to be able to register sensations associated with healthy and unhealthy singing, who maybe have some mental blocks and emotional blocks that prevent them from being able to coordinate their bodies effectively, those singers may need some one-on-one guidance from a skilled, qualified singing teacher. So it's not outside the realm of possibility, but I will also say this, that having somebody guide you one-on-one to be able to listen to your singing and address your particular training needs in real time is so critical, and it will actually help you make faster progress. And I will say this as well about those of you who are trying to teach yourselves how to sing. You may find that without having that one-on-one guidance and feedback, it may take you a little bit longer to reach your singing goals. And I don't say this to discourage you. I understand that oftentimes there are circumstances that prevent an individual from being able to take private singing lessons, and that is completely understandable. However, I am just saying that for a lot of individuals, teaching themselves how to sing is a little bit of an uphill battle. And you may find that getting some one-on-one help with your singing saves you a lot of time and a lot of frustration and discouragement along the way, and helps you reach your singing goals a lot faster.